The Ministry of Time by Callian Bradley, an intriguing novel that blends history, mystery, and a bit of fantasy, all wrapped up in a thrilling narrative. The story centers around a secret government agency in France that controls time travel, ensuring that history remains unaltered. This ministry's sole purpose is to monitor and, when necessary, intervene in historical events to prevent time from unraveling. It's like a mix of a historical drama and a spy thriller with a dash of science fiction. The ministry is staffed by agents who are experts in various historical periods, from the French Revolution to World War II, and even earlier times like the Middle Ages. These agents are just historians. They're also skilled in espionage, diplomacy, and combat, making them the ultimate time cops. The cool thing about this agency is that it operates in complete secrecy, and only a select few know of its existence. The main characters, the protagonist is Juliette Durand, a sharp-witted historian with a knack for getting into trouble. Juliette isn't your typical hero and she's got flaws. She's stubborn, and she doesn't always play by the rules, but that's what makes her so relatable. She's recruited into the ministry after she uncovers something she shouldn't have while working on a Ph.D. thesis about the French Revolution. Juliette is thrown into a world she never imagined existed, where she quickly realizes that history is far more fluid than she thought. She's joined by Etienne Blanc, a seasoned agent who becomes her mentor. Etienne is calm, methodical, and a bit of a mystery himself, with a past that's slowly unraveled as the story progresses. There's also Lucille Moreau, a tech genius who's responsible for the ministry's time-traveling gadgets. Lucille is quirky, a bit socially awkward, but brilliant when it comes to figuring out how to navigate the complexities of time travel. She's the brains behind the operation and often saves the day with her out-of-the-box solutions. The plot gets going when Juliette and Etienne are sent on their first mission together to 1793, the height of the French Revolution. Their job is to stop a group of rogue time travelers who are trying to alter the course of history by preventing the execution of Louis XVI. This mission sets the tone for the rest of the book, filled with high-stakes action, historical intrigue, and the ever-present danger of messing up the timeline. As Juliette and Etienne dive deeper into their mission, they discover that the rogue time travelers are part of a larger conspiracy that spans multiple centuries. The story takes them through different time periods, from the court of Marie Antoinette to the trenches of World War I, and even to the bustling streets of 1960s Paris. Each time period is rich, Lee described, making you feel like you're right there with the characters, experiencing history firsthand. One of the coolest things about the book is how it plays with the idea of what if. What if certain events in history didn't happen the way we think they did? What if someone was manipulating history from behind the scenes? These questions keep the reader engaged and guessing as Juliette and her team race against time to prevent catastrophic changes to the timeline. Character dynamics. The relationships between the characters are a big part of what makes this story so engaging. Juliette and Etienne's dynamic is especially interesting. At first, they're like oil and water. Juliette is impulsive and emotional, while Etienne is reserved and strategic. But as they work together, they start to understand each other better, and a mutual respect develops. There's also a bit of a slow burn romance brewing between them, though it's not the main focus of the story. Lucille's relationship with the rest of the team is more of a sibling-like bond. She's the little sister who annoys everyone with her nerdy obsessions, but they all know they couldn't do their jobs without her. The banter between these characters adds a layer of humor to the story, balancing out the tension and seriousness of their missions. Themes. One of the central themes of the book is the idea of fate versus free will. The ministry's entire existence is based on the idea that history must be preserved as it was meant to happen, but as Juliette and the others discover, it's not always that simple. They're constantly faced with moral dilemmas. Should they let bad things happen because they're supposed to, or should they intervene, even if it means altering the course of history. Another theme is the cost of secrecy. The Ministry operates in the shadows, and its agents often have to lie to their loved ones or live double lives. This secrecy takes a toll on them, particularly Juliet, who struggles with the isolation that comes with her new job. The book explores how much people are willing to sacrifice for the greater good, and whether the ends always justify the means. The climax of the book is a nail-biter. Without giving too much away, let's just say that the conspiracy Juliet and her team have been chasing comes to a head in a way that puts everything, their lives, their mission, and even time itself at risk. The last few chapters are a whirlwind of action, with the characters facing impossible odds and making choices that will have far-reaching consequences. The ending. The book wraps up in a way that leaves you satisfied but also wanting more. There are some loose ends and unanswered questions, which suggests that there might be a sequel in the works. Juliet's character arc is particularly well done. She starts out as a bit of a skeptic, unsure of her place in the Ministry, but by the end, she's fully committed to the cause, even if it means making tough decisions. Final thoughts. The Ministry of Time is a fast-paced, thought-provoking novel that will appeal to fans of historical fiction, science fiction, and thrillers alike. It's got a little bit of everything: action, mystery, romance, and even some philosophical musings on the nature of time and history. The characters are well developed and relatable, and the plot keeps you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. If you're looking for a book that's both entertaining and makes you think, The Ministry of Time is definitely worth a read. It's the kind of story that stays with you long after you've turned the last page, making you wonder about the unseen forces that might be shaping our world, and whether we're truly masters of our own fate. Thanks for watching. For more videos, subscribe our channel.